You see Brazil out on the field, and of course they're talented players, and you got Vini Jr. and Rafinha, Mateus Cunha, and you can bring this guy, you can bring that guy. In the front end, it would seem like they have enough. But when you start looking backwards, and you look at the midfield, and you look at the back line, and you start asking questions, you kind of go, uh-oh. There are issues in terms of the balance of this team. How do you create enough for that front four, for that front three, to be able to exploit some of the talent that you have in Vini Jr., that you have in Rafinha, that you have in players that make a difference on a weekly basis in La Liga?
For generations, Brazil was never just a football team. It was a phenomenon, a living, breathing symbol of joy, creativity, and freedom. The yellow shirt carried more than 11 players onto the pitch. It carried dreams, history, and magic. This was the nation that gave the world Pelé. Then came Zico, Romário, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Neymar. Legions who didn't simply win matches. They turned football into art. For over a century, Brazil played a style unlike anyone else, a beautiful blend of flair, improvisation, rhythm, and imagination. Every touch seemed effortless. Every attack felt unpredictable. Every game felt like a performance on football's grandest stage. No nation has shaped the story of football quite like Brazil. 5 World Cups, 9 Copa America titles, 4 Confederations Cups, a trophy cabinet overflowing with greatness. But somewhere along the way, something changed. The samba rhythm faded. The sparkle became harder to find. And the nation that once set the standard for football now finds itself searching for answers. For 2 consecutive World Cups, Brazil's journey has ended in the quarterfinals. Since the glory days, the distance between expectation and reality has continued to grow. The nation that once inspired fear now often finds itself haunted by its own history. Since 2022, Brazil has slipped down the FIFA rankings. They failed to qualify for the Paris 2024 Olympics after a painful 1-0 defeat against Argentina. And for many supporters, an uncomfortable question has emerged. Is this the weakest Brazilian side of the 21st century? Underperformance has become familiar. Disappointment has become recurring, from coaching turmoil and tactical confusion to changing player development pathways and stronger global competition. Brazil's decline is not the result of one mistake. It is the story of a giant slowly losing its way. But to understand how we got here, we must first revisit the peak of Brazilian greatness. The year was 2002. Brazil arrived at the World Cup carrying enormous expectations. Led by football icons Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, and Cafu, the Seleção looked determined to reclaim their throne. And reclaim it they did. In the final against Germany, Ronaldo delivered one of football's most memorable performances. 2 goals, a 2-0 victory, a 5th World Cup crown. Ronaldo finished as the tournament's top scorer with 8 goals, completing one of the greatest redemption stories the sport has ever seen. Brazil were champions of the world once again, and it felt like the beginning of another golden era. 2 years later, Brazil once again showcased their winning mentality. The 2004 Copa America final against Argentina produced one of the most dramatic moments in South American football history. Trailing 2-1 deep into stoppage time, Brazil seemed destined for defeat. Then came Adriano. The tournament's standout performer struck in the 93rd minute to level the score and stun Argentina. The match went to penalties. Brazil held their nerve. And another trophy headed back to Rio. During this period, coach Carlos Alberto Pereira built a side capable of overwhelming opponents. At the heart of it was the famous Magic Quartet: Ronaldo, Adriano, Ronaldinho, and Kaká. 4 superstars capable of deciding games in an instant. By the time the 2006 World Cup arrived, Brazil possessed one of the most talented squads ever assembled. Many believed the tournament was already theirs to lose. They cruised through the group stage, defeating Croatia and Australia before overcoming Japan. Then came a comfortable 3-0 victory against Ghana in the round of 16. During that match, Ronaldo scored his 15th World Cup goal, becoming the tournament's all-time leading scorer at the time. Everything seemed to be unfolding perfectly until France stood in their way. In the quarterfinals, football fans witnessed a masterclass from Zinedine Zidane. The French captain controlled the game with elegance and authority. One moment of brilliance led to Thierry Henry's winning goal. France won 1-0. Brazil's dream was over. The seemingly unstoppable giants had fallen. Soon after, Carlos Alberto Pereira stepped down. And Brazil entered a new chapter. His successor surprised many. Former captain Dunga had no significant coaching experience. Questions immediately emerged. Was he really the right man for the job? Despite the skepticism, Dunga delivered early success. In 2007, Brazil defeated Argentina 3-0 in the Copa America final. 2 years later, they completed an incredible comeback against the United States to win the 2009 Confederations Cup 3-2. Brazil once again stood at the summit of world football. But as the 2010 World Cup approached, controversy followed. Many supporters demanded the inclusion of a teenage sensation named Neymar. The calls grew louder, yet Dunga left him out. Brazil started strongly. Victories against North Korea and Ivory Coast were followed by a draw against Portugal. Then came a dominant 3-0 victory over Chile in the round of 16. Everything pointed toward another deep run. But football rarely follows the script. In the quarterfinals at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium, the Netherlands turned the game around and defeated Brazil 2-1. Another World Cup ended in heartbreak. Dunga was dismissed, and Brazil hoped a return to attacking football would restore the nation's identity. In 2010, Mano Menezes was appointed head coach. His arrival brought optimism. Supporters dreamed of seeing Brazilian creativity flourish again. The emergence of Neymar seemed to symbolize a brighter future. Yet progress proved difficult. At the 2011 Copa America, Brazil's campaign ended in disappointment against Paraguay. Despite dominating large portions of the match, they crashed out on penalties after a goalless draw. The criticism intensified. Results failed to match expectations. And by 2012, Mano Menezes was relieved of his duties. Brazil needed a savior. So they turned to a familiar face, Luiz Felipe Scolari, the man who had guided Brazil to World Cup glory in 2002. With the 2014 World Cup approaching on home soil, hope returned. The nation believed the history could repeat itself. Ironically, before Scolari's return, Brazil had fallen as low as 22nd in the FIFA rankings, the lowest position in their history at the point. But signs of recovery soon appeared. Brazil won the 2013 Confederations Cup in spectacular fashion. In the final, they dismantled Spain 3-0. The world took notice. Perhaps Brazil were back. Then came 2014, the World Cup on home soil, the tournament every Brazilian had dreamed about. Brazil opened with a 3-1 victory over Croatia. Neymar dazzled, Oscar impressed. The nation erupted with belief. A draw against Mexico followed, then a victory over Cameroon. Brazil advanced to the knockout rounds. A dramatic penalty shootout victory over Chile tested their nerves. A hard-fought 2-1 win over Colombia brought them within touching distance of the final. But that victory came at a devastating cost. Neymar suffered a fractured vertebra. His tournament was over, and with it, perhaps Brazil's hopes. The nation held its breath. Then came the darkest night in Brazilian football history. Germany, semi-final, Belo Horizonte. What followed felt impossible. A nightmare unfolding in real time. Goal after goal. Shock turned into disbelief. Disbelief turned into silence, and silence turned into tears. Germany won 7-1. Brazil had never experienced humiliation on such a scale, especially not at home. The wound remains open even today. A further 3-0 defeat against the Netherlands followed. Soon after, Scolari resigned. Brazil needed rebuilding. Again, Dunga returned in 2014 with the responsibility of restoring national pride. But the struggles continued. At the 2015 Copa America, Brazil topped their group before being eliminated by Paraguay on penalties. A year later, matters became even worse. At the Copa America Centenario, Brazil opened with a draw against Ecuador and crushed Haiti 7-1. Yet needing only a draw against Peru to progress, they suffered a shocking 1-0 defeat. It was Brazil's earliest exit from a major tournament in decades. The result cost Dunga his job. A fresh start was required. On June 14, 2016, Adenor Leonardo Bacchi, better known as Tite, was appointed manager. For many supporters, he represented a new beginning, a chance to reconnect Brazil with its footballing soul. By the time the 2018 World Cup arrived, memories of the 7-1 disaster still lingered. Yet this Brazil felt different, more organized, more balanced, more resilient. They topped their group and defeated Mexico in the round of 16. Then came Belgium, the quarterfinal, a battle between two giants. Brazil fought until the final whistle, created chances, applied pressure, refused to surrender. But football can be cruel. Belgium emerged victorious 2-1. Brazil were eliminated once more. Yet, unlike previous campaigns, there were positives. The team looked cohesive, the football was structured. For the first time in years, Brazil appeared to be moving in the right direction. That progress culminated in 2019. Playing at home, Brazil captured their first Copa America title since 2007. They defeated Argentina in the semifinals before overcoming Peru in the final. The drought was over, the celebrations returned, but football has a way of balancing the scales. In 2021, Argentina struck back. A single goal separated the teams in the Copa America final. Brazil lost 1-0, and Lionel Messi finally lifted his first major international trophy. Then came Qatar 2022. Many believed this was Brazil's best opportunity in years. The squad was stacked with talent: Neymar, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Casemiro, Alisson. The dream of a sixth World Cup felt real. Brazil topped their group, then dismantled South Korea in the round of 16. The football was electric, the confidence was growing. The nation dared to dream again, but Croatia stood in the quarterfinals. Brazil took the lead in extra time. The semifinals were within reach. Then everything changed. Croatia equalized late. The game went to penalties. And once again, Brazil watched their World Cup ambitions disappear. The final whistle felt familiar. Too familiar. Heartbreak. Tite announced his departure soon after. A chapter closed, but the ultimate prize remained out of reach. The years that followed brought even more uncertainty. Brazil failed to qualify for the Paris 2024 Olympics after losing 1-0 to Argentina, a result that would have been unthinkable for previous generations. Dorval Jr. eventually took charge of the national team, inheriting enormous expectations. Yet the 2024 Copa America ended in another disappointment as Brazil exited against Uruguay in the quarterfinals. Another tournament, another painful ending, another reminder that the road back to the top remains long. And now, a new chapter begins. Carlo Ancelotti stands at the helm, one of the most successful managers in football history. The mission before him is enormous, not just to win, but to restore something deeper. An identity, a philosophy, a feeling, because Brazil's crisis is about more than trophies. It is about reconnecting with what made them special in the first place. As the 2026 World Cup approaches, the footballing world watches closely. Can Brazil rediscover the magic that once captivated millions? Can the nation that taught the world how to dream with a football find its way back? Or will the golden age remain a memory frozen in time? The answer awaits, and perhaps the next chapter of Brazil's story is only just beginning.